Hey guys, my name is Kayla Rain, and today I'm doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag. So this tag was originally created by the book Archer, and I was tagged by Mariana from Impression Blend. And I am really excited to do this tag because I feel like there aren't a lot of really great opportunities to talk about books or book-related things that you just aren't a fan of that maybe are really popular. So I think this tag is a really great opportunity for people who might not feel all that comfortable talking about that to just get it out there and get it off their chest. Now, I am not uncomfortable talking about things that I don't like and that I just was not particularly a fan of, because I think everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I just want to put it out there that my dislike for a book series, character, author, movie, any of that does not extend to my feelings towards you as a human being. If I mention a book or book series that you particularly like and I say some maybe negative things about it, then I hope that you don't take that personally and that I'm saying it against you, because I love you guys, and even if we don't like all the same books, that's totally okay. We can still be booktube buddies. But enough of that, let's just get right into the tags. Number 1, a popular book or book series that you didn't like. And I am going to have to go with The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. And I read this in January, I believe, and I just hated every second of that book. I felt like the characters had that special snowflake trope, every single one of them, where they were all so special and unique compared to all of the other characters in the book that were just average, dull, regular human beings. And I just felt like that fact just kept getting beaten into the pages and the plot and everything over and over again, and I was not a fan. And I just felt like the storyline was a little bit too predictable for me, and I didn't love it. And I won't be continuing on with the series, because if you don't like a book, I don't feel like you should force yourself to read it and love it and pretend like you just really want to read the rest of the series. Number 2, a popular book or book series that everyone else seems to hate but you love. And I'm gonna have to give some love to The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. And though some booktubers have liked this, I think the general consensus was that it wasn't that great, and a lot of people heavily compared it to Harry Potter and just had a really big problem with it in that aspect. But I loved it, and I did see some very Harry Potter-esque storylines play out in it, but I thought there was enough there that it could distinguish itself from the Harry Potter series, and it had its own feel, and I just really enjoyed it. I enjoy the series. I know not everyone did, but I just wanted to shout it out because I really liked it, and I think that this is just a really fun book. Number 3, a love triangle or OTP that you just couldn't get behind. And this isn't going to give any spoilers because I'm not going to mention who she ends up with. I just hated the entire love triangle, and that is the love triangle in The Summer I Turned Pretty. I felt like every single person in that love triangle was a terrible person, and I could not connect with them, and I didn't want any of them to be happy because they all just really annoyed me, and I was very bothered by that entire book trilogy and just was not a fan in general. That is definitely the love triangle that comes to mind with that topic. Number 4, a popular book genre that you just don't typically reach for. And I'm gonna have to go with any space-related science fiction. Now, I have The Martian here by Andy Weir for an example that I absolutely loved this book. However, I just don't typically reach for any science fiction books that have anything to do with space, whether it's aliens, space exploration, any of that stuff. It's just not really my thing and not something that I typically enjoy. But because there is so much really great hype surrounding this book and the movie was coming out, I decided I should go ahead and pick it up. A lot of other booktubers, specifically Alexis from Shelf Life Extension, have raved about this book, so I was like, okay, give it a try, and I loved it. However, I probably still won't pick up that many books from the space sci-fi genre because, again, it's not really my thing. This was, but the genre isn't so much. Question number 5, a beloved book character that you just don't like. And this might be the most controversial that I have ever gotten on my channel, and I'm gonna have to go with Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars. I didn't hate him, but I did not fall in love with him the way that many people fell in love with Augustus Waters. I personally really loved Hazel Grace as a character, but I felt like Augustus Waters was Hazel Grace over the top. I just felt like there wasn't a really great distinction between the two characters, and if I had to choose between the two, I did prefer Hazel Grace. She was the right amount of sarcastic and witty and fun and kind of dark all put together, whereas Augustus Waters I felt went over the top for me, and I just didn't personally enjoy him as a character. However, in the movie, I felt like there was a better balance, and I really enjoyed him in the movie and fell in love with him when I watched the movie. So I do like Augustus Waters now, but when I had just read The Fault in Our Stars, I wasn't the biggest fan. Number 6, a popular author that you just can't seem to get into, and I don't have any of her books, but that is Sarah Dessen. I have read one of her books in full, and that was Someone Like You, and I really enjoyed it. However, I've tried to get into many of her other books multiple times, and I just can't get into them. It's not that she's a bad writer, I just think that the time when her writing is relevant for me has passed. When I read Someone Like You, I was going through a really rough breakup at the tender age of 14. So the book was really relevant for me, and I could really relate to it and just find comfort in it. I tried to pick her back up in college when I had some free time, and I just couldn't really get into her. And now as a full-blown adult, I use that term loosely, I just am not the biggest fan of her writing. I don't think it's awful, but it's just not for me. Number 7, a popular trope that you are tired of seeing, and I'm gonna have to go with what the book Archer said, because this is my number 1 most hated trope ever. And if you saw my Top 5 Wednesday video, then you know already what the answer to this is, and that is the conflict machine between best friends. I just hate when the two best friends or a group of friends all get into a fight, and it's just ridiculous to me because I didn't have those issues with my friends, and I don't know that many other people who have that as such a common issue, that it is portrayed in books to be such a common issue that best friends just fight all the time. If you're best friends, you don't get into huge fights like that. You talk to each other and you work things out, and that drives me crazy. And I don't really see it between male characters, I see it more between female characters, which is just another thing that really annoys me, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. And I just wish an author would write a friend group where the people are actually friends. That would be really nice. Number 8, a popular book or book series that you just aren't that interested in reading, and I'm going to have to go with A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I am currently reading the Throne of Glass series, and I'm enjoying it enough to continue on with the series, and I definitely think that it's going to be much better as the series finishes out because there's been a lot of world building, character development, addition of new characters that I think is really going to make the world much more interesting to read, and the series just kind of come together really well. I don't really love Sarah J. Maas's writing style, and her characters are kind of okay to me, so I don't think that I'll be getting into the world of A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR, because it just doesn't really interest me, and it's not just a book that I want to go pick up. Even though I've heard great things about it, I just don't know that it's a series that I want to dedicate my time to at the moment. And number 9, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie did you think was better than the book? Now, obviously, I've already mentioned The Fault in Our Stars, that I definitely connected with Augustus Waters more in the movie than I did in the book. But I have one movie that I think just went above and beyond and just blew me away with how amazing it is. And I think the sequel is going to be just as amazing. And that is going to be The Maze Runner by James Dashner. And the movie was incredible. I loved it, and I cannot wait to see the Scorch Trials. One of the big things for me is I felt like the world was explained so much better in the movies, and that was one of my biggest issues with the book, is I felt like it didn't explain the world as well as I wanted it to, and I didn't really get a good sense of the characters, though the characters that I did get attached to, I felt like they were written well. But not all of them were really as developed as I wanted them to be, and I couldn't get connected to the entire series as a whole. But I love the movie. I hope the Scorch Trial is just as amazing, and I am excited. But those are all the questions answered, and now I'm going to tag some people, which was kind of hard to do because I feel like everyone and their mother has done this tag, and rightfully so, because it's really fun. But I'm going to go ahead and tag some people, and if you have already done this and I just completely missed that video, I am so sorry, but you're getting tagged again. So I'm going to tag Amy and Laura from Two Paper Girls, Alexis from Shelf Life Extension, and Gretchen from Chic Nerd Reads. You guys are up, and I can't wait to see what your answers are. And hopefully they're not as controversial as number 5 was for me. And please don't hate me, guys. Again, my opinions on what I said in this tag do not reflect my opinions on you guys, because you guys are so awesome. And I'm sure that there are some books out there that I love that maybe you guys don't like so much. But anyway, that's all I have for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.